Hey guys, Kevin Cleary here with a quick gear video for you. So this is the back of my truck and I'm just gonna pop this up. If you look under the seat, there's a storage area. I'm going to be putting some gear in there. Most important among that gear is going to be a first aid kit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hop in the truck here, we're gonna run over to Dollarama and we're gonna start getting some supplies for the first aid kit. There's a couple of things that you can't get from a dollar store that you may have to go elsewhere for. But what I'd like to do is have a little challenge with you guys, and I'll fill that in a second when we get over to the store. So let's stop here and go ahead and go for a little ride. Okay guys, so we are in Dollarama parking lot. We're gonna go in, I'll film a little bit of it. I'm not gonna film the whole thing, so it'll be boring and long and not worthwhile. But I'll film a little bit. We're gonna go in, we're gonna get all of the supplies that we need, and then I will compile them into a small kit that'll fit in that little space that I showed you at the back of my truck there. And then we'll talk about, very quickly the challenge I had. Well, actually, let's talk about it now before we get started. So in a second, I'll show you what I was able to get and how much it cost me. But before that, I want to challenge you guys who are watching to do the same thing, to make a little first aid kit, especially if you don't have one. One of the reasons for this video is to show how easy it really is to make a first aid kit and have one always ready. Now, hopefully you've also got a little bit of training. But even if you don't, take your hand, grab some stuff and put it over a cut, okay? There's still a lot you can do even if you don't have a ton of training. Anyway, the challenge I have for you is to make your own first aid kit, take a picture of it, share the picture and how much it cost, either on the Sharp Stuff Facebook page or on Instagram with, I'll come up with a hashtag and put it in the comment of this video, or with @ClearKevin, that works too, so I'll be sure to see it. Anyway, and what I'm gonna do is we'll look at all the first aid kits that get made and we'll pick the best one for the best price and you'll win something. I've got a few knives that I'm able to, that I'm thinking that I'll use for a giveaway. So that's what I'll use one of those for this giveaway to whoever makes the best first aid kit, okay? So let's go ahead and check out Dollarama and see what they've got in there for us. All right, so we've got some non-latex gloves. They're not in the same area as the medical stuff, but they do have them here. Okay, so we're in the section of the store that's got most of the medical stuff. I'm gonna grab a pair of tweezers here and then we'll move down the aisle. It's a little noisy in here, so I'm not gonna film this for long. All right. So you can see, if you want to make a first aid kit, you have most of what you want. I'm going to grab this stuff and I'll meet up back with you in the car. Okay, so we have returned from our trip to the store. I'm going to move this bag down here and just go quickly through what we were able to pick up. So Advil, tweezers, nice and girly there. Gauze, probably could have gotten 2 of those. I found before, one time I opened one of these up and they're not that big. Some medical tape, Tylenol, some moist wipes for using, for sanitizing, a pack of regular Band-Aids, pair of scissors, non-latex gloves, what else have we got? Oh, bandana. I picked up 2 of these to use for bandaging purposes, some hydrogen peroxide in a spray bottle, and I also picked up a container to keep it all in. Now they call this a cosmetics bag, but it's going to be a first aid bag for our purposes. Now, there are 2 things that I was not able to pick up from Dollarama that I'll have to order on Amazon. One is sterile, non-stick Band-Aid bandaging pads. I'll pick up some of those, and that's what you would actually put on the wound under the gauze or tape. The other thing that I didn't pick up, and you can't really get in very few stores, is going to be some clotting powder. Both of those things can be bought on Amazon for around $5, and there's enough in those to do multiple first aid kits. So let me grab the receipt and give you our total cost up to this point, and I'll give you a full total at the end when we put this all together. Hold on, I threw it in my pocket and it's all crumpled up. So our total from Dollarama was $26.33. and that included a package of Ziploc bags. So we're 26 bucks in, and that's with tax. We'll probably end up about $6 more, so that will put us at like 32 bucks, and that's including a bag to put it all in for $3.50, which is a little steep. You could easily throw it in a Ziploc bag and save yourself some money on that. Also notice that a bunch of these items, you're gonna get more than you need for one first aid kit. So you could actually probably make yourself a little more efficient by creating 2 or 3 first aid kits rather than just one. So there we go, guys. In a little while, I will be inside and I'll film the rest of actually putting this first aid kit together, and then we'll be finished with our video, and I'll give you a total cost of that time as well. Okay guys, so we have finished our haul from Dollarama. I've got everything laid out here on the table. I've got a number of items here where we're not going to put all of it into the kit, and then I've got some extra items as well that weren't available at Dollarama. So let me do a quick rundown here of how we're going to do this. So I've got this bag. They call it a cosmetics bag, but it is going to be a first aid bag. My EDC today is the Steel Will Intrigue. Just going to cut the label off of that, and it's got this decently big main compartment here that we're going to use to put everything in. So as I said, a lot of this stuff, I don't need all of it to make this kit work. So I've got this bag of gloves. Well, there's 30 pairs of gloves in here. If you need 30 pairs of gloves at a medical emergency, my goodness, like, just at that point, you know, things have really gone south. So I'm going to take 3 or 4 pairs. Let's see, what do we got here? So I'm going to take 3 or 4 pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's 3 pairs of medical gloves. Now I think in here it has separate compartments. Not in here. So I'm going to put these gloves on the outside. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want anyone who uses it to be reminded of that. I want to take some of these moist wipes. Again, there's 24 of these. I'm not going to put all of them in this kit. So I'll take about half of these little, you know, sort of wet wipes, put them there in the kit. This can go drop right in the way it is. Hydrogen peroxide, perfect. I do have a couple of items here that we're not able to pick up. So this is Celox. It is a blood-clotting powder. I'm gonna drop that in there. I also got some Band-Aid pads. These are just the ones that happen to be most easily available. And those are non-adhesive pads. So just a quick note, if I was actually bandaging a wound, I would open this up, I would put this over the wound, and then I would wrap that in gauze. Okay, so this is the thing that's going to be covering the wound, not just the plain old gauze itself. So gauze is right here. This should be, and it is, in a shrink wrap plastic, so I'm not going to put the box in. We'll just drop the gauze in just like that, as you can see. I'm going to do the same with the tape. Remove it from the package, drop the tape in there. So now we've got tape. Next time I've got a couple of bandanas. The idea behind the bandanas is for, you know, to serve as sort of a triangle bandage, or perhaps as an extra covering, or to make a sling, or, you know, all kinds of things like that. Lots of useful things you can do with a bandana. I'm just cutting off the labels here, and I've got 2 of them just in case. If you ever, by the way, I'll just say this, if you ever encounter an extremely bad injury, you will find yourself quickly wanting for more bandaging material, because the blood will be flowing and you'll be desperately trying to contain that. And it's not an easy task all the time. So even in a trauma bag like we carry on our fire trucks, you can run out of bandaging material. It can be that bad. Okay, I've got a pair of scissors in there. I'm going to open up these pills. Again, this is another example where we're not keeping the packaging. So throw these guys in there very quickly. We're actually getting close to being done. You may recall, if I don't know if I showed that or not, but I've got Advil and Tylenol here. Tuck those guys in. I do have a box of regular Band-Aids, and again, I don't want the box, and I don't want all the Band-Aids, but I want a decent amount. So, by the way, I just ignore those little Band-Aids. These boxes are like $1.50, so it doesn't hurt my feelings to throw a few things away. But then now I've got a bunch of Band-Aids in there. Let's see. I'm going to open up this set of tweezers. Sorry I did that off camera just so I wouldn't break anything or cut myself. Set of tweezers in there. And the last thing I want to add is a couple of Ziploc bags. Various uses for that. If nothing else, these can serve as a place to keep garbage when you're cleaning up. It's important to remember that you know, anything you've kind of dealt with there qualifies as a biohazard. So I like to have a Ziploc bag or two around so that I have somewhere to put all of my discarded gloves, bandaging, anything like that. Can go in a Ziploc bag, be zipped up, and disposed of properly. So there we go, guys. So there is the first aid kit. I'm going to zip that guy back up. I can't even... or maybe I'm not. Really? Okay, so this one doesn't have a zipper. I didn't even realize that I wasn't capable of zipping it up. It's got these two side pockets. So anyway, I may actually reorganize this, but I don't need to bore you with that on video. So now we have, all told here, at a cost of about $30, that's including the container to keep it in, a pretty decently stocked first aid kit, okay? It's not a full-on trauma bag. If you were going that route, you would want to have much larger pads than these. You would also perhaps want to have one of the large, there are some, I think they call them Navy SEAL bandages or something like that, where it's a large pad that's already infused with a clotting agent. But this, to have in a vehicle, is pretty convenient and pretty easy. And so I'm again going to challenge you guys to do one of your own and put it on Instagram with @KevinCleary in the description. And we'll look at all of those, and I'll get a little bit of help from some friends, and we'll decide who's going to be the winner, and I will send out a knife to whoever we deem has done the best job of creating a good first aid kit at a very reasonable price. And I will publish, I'll do a follow-up video with that particular first aid kit, especially, you know, you'll think of things that I didn't, no doubt. And you may, the other thing is, you may, you know, if you go to Walmart rather than Dollarama, that might be a benefit, because as you know, Dollaramas are not found everywhere, where just about anybody is going to be able to find a Walmart. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will talk to you soon.